Senator Abdullahi Adamu, who was affirmed on Saturday as the All Progressives Congress National Chairman, has been sworn in. Adamu was inaugurated on Sunday at the Eagle Square in Abuja, which is the venue of the party's convention. He emerged after an affirmative vote by the party's delegates from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory at the party's national convention. Now, in the build-up to the convention, there was a lot of intrigues that led to the withdrawal of many candidates to arrive at the consensus. Now, we have with us in the studio two APC young leaders. But first of all, we have Mohammed Esu, who was an aspirant in the just concluded convention, in the studio with us. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show, Mohammed. And I would say congratulations to you and the APC for the just concluded national convention of the party. You participated in the process as somebody who aspired to be the national chairman of the party. What is your own take? Are you satisfied with the outcome of the convention?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. I think first and foremost, we must congratulate our great party for having achieved this feat within the last few weeks because of rancors and issues that were coming up before the build-up to the convention. And as you are aware, a lot of doomsayers will put them to shame because of a lot of people think that after this convention there's going to be a walkout or massive outblow of some of our members. But if you can look at the whole thing in the last 2-3 days to the build-up to the convention, the game has changed, and that's politics. And you can see how the whole thing went all smoothly, even though we have little small issues about some aspirants have not agreed with their state governors and some other stakeholders in the states. But at the end of the day, we know how to manage our issues, and even at the convention ground, you can see some people were withdrawing their race. I know it's not easy, and it's a very, very big tax ahead of somebody has aspirations to make sure that he puts himself on the ballot. But when you have what they call party supremacy and some people that sees that, okay, you can try another time, at least they should abide with this. Party politics. This is not a general election that you feel that you're going to INEC, and INEC cannot call you to come and withdraw. It's you that put yourself in the ballots. But these are party elections, and we know how to manage issues because we believe that this is the best way we can do it at this critical time.
Okay, now a lot of people are actually surprised that, a young person like you actually joined the big fishes to, contest for the party's top seats. What gave you the courage?
Yes, I think people should get aware that in the recent development of our polity, since 2018, when the president signed the Not Too Young to Run bill, and you are aware when the president is signing the bill, he told young people that allowed me to finish, to give me a second time so that I can be able to hand over the powers to you people and you move the country forward. And those are the things that give us courage, because when you had the presidential statement like that, you should be able to cash on and take advantage of it. And that's what gave me that courage. And I think I have the capacity and I have what it takes to lead the party at this critical time. But as God will have it, and when the stakeholders discuss and we discuss and put it on the table with other people, we'll say let our new chairman to put his best and see how we can take a shot at a time.
Okay, that's really an important point you made, but we'll come back to it after a short break.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak on Trust TV, and we're actually still discussing about the just concluded convention. We started talking to one APC young leader and also an aspirant at the just concluded convention, talking about Mohammed Etsu. He's still in the studio with us, and we also have joining us another young APC leader and the leader of PYM as well, Mustafa Audu, in the studio with us. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak.
Good morning. Great to be here.
All right, now let me just forward this question to you. You were quite outspoken about, the leadership issues in the party. Yes. What's your take, so far on the convention?
To be honest, I think this is the best convention Nigeria has ever had. Before, the way it used to be, sometimes, they do political magic. You go into the convention, whether through financing of delegates or just outright stuffing of boxes, magic happens or violence. But this was the first time you could not do that. You could not just write off an aspirant, even if the aspirant says, I'm not interested or I'm not fighting. No, it wasn't possible. This was the first time every aspirant had to be persuaded because according to the new Electoral Act signed by Mr. President, any aspirant must write that they are stepping down for the consensus candidate. So if aspirants didn't actually agree to consensus, they actually went to the poll and elections were conducted. So I think this was a very beautiful convention. As you know, my wife also ran for the North Central Zonal Woman Leader, and she came out victorious.
Big congratulations to her.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But some people would say that what we saw at the end with the unity list is more like an imposition of people by some few leaders of the party who sat in a room and agreed on who to be what. What is your take on that?
I don't actually agree with that because it's very simple. If you look at the unity list, you see that my wife's name is not on it, but my wife emerged victorious. So these were preferred candidates of the governors. Everybody has a right to have a preferred candidate. So if you didn't agree with that, if you felt that you could offer more, you were better at it, and you went to the polls, you would win if you had that capacity, or you would lose. I use an example for the national woman leader, Dr. Betta Edu. Some of the aspirants were persuaded there, negotiated by the South-South leaders, the ministers, the governor, and some agreed to step down. But one in particular refused to step down. And it actually went to the polls. And when it went to the polls, she got, I think, over 2,000 votes versus the other lady who refused to step down, who got 100 and something votes. There was no exchange of money. There was no force on the delegates. The delegates actually went to vote for who they preferred. Especially that for us, she's a younger candidate. She's part of the progressive youth movement. So we did a lot promoting her, supporting her. Throughout the electioneering process, we met all the delegates. We spoke to them because we knew that it may have to come to voting. And when it came to voting, we actually won. So I'm really proud because the progressive youth movement came out with actually 5 people in the convention, including my wife, who's the leader. So I think if young people put their mind to it, we got more than any governor. So this was a complete victory for young people. We need to consolidate. We need to come together. Nothing is perfect. We're not saying this is a perfect convention, but this is something you can actually build on. You have a real foundation now that gets rid of winner takes all. You must actually talk to the person. He has aspirations, he has dreams. There's a reason why he bought the form. Now bring him on board. If he wants to express himself and he refuses, take it to the polls. So I think this happened. So if you look at, for example, the youth leader, we supported both of them. Shegun Dada was an earlier member of the PYM before Dayo Israel. But even when we spoke to Shegun Dada, he wanted to take it to the polls. But at the end of the day, they persuaded him. The governors spoke to him, the leaders of the Southwest. So even when you saw him submitting in tears, you knew that he did it willingly. No one had a gun to his head, no one, but he came to reason. It's painful, come on, he's a young, passionate guy. And I've also told Dayo Israel to make sure that he takes Segun Dada along. It's part of the process. We are all together. We must learn to work with each other.
Okay, let's go back to Mr. Etu. Now, some actually viewed the consensus arrangement as running contrary to, democratic principles or free choice. Would you say, or do you think that your party is set a bad precedence?
That's not true, because if you're aware, on Wednesday we met with Mr. President, and since before we met with Mr. President, Mr. President has discussed with the governors that we need to come to a conclusion about all these things, and that's when we have the tips that the new national chairman will emerge at that night. And when we met with Mr. President, we discussed, we have a dinner, and at the end of the day, he told us that we need to move this party forward, and we need to eschew bitterness, and it's very important for us now not to engage ourselves in a rough fight. Let's put some things behind us, and let's move this party at this critical time.
So you are in nowhere forced to resign?
No, I'll give you a base of what actually happens, because we're in a democracy, and we shouldn't say maybe Mr. President forced on us. And when he discussed and told us that after critical discussions, they've agreed on the distinguished Senator Adam Abdullahi, who is the new national chairman. We, the aspirants, said, okay, Mr. President, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to have a dinner with you. But let us also go and discuss among ourselves as an aspirant. And before you know, it takes up to Friday. That's when we now say, okay, we're writing officially to him, because every one of us write its own letters to make sure that he withdraw from the race. Before the distinguished Senator George Akume, who is the current minister, wrote a covering note that you've seen around. But it's not that Mr. Distinguished Senator wrote on behalf. No, each and every one of us write its own personal letter attached, and they wrote a covering letter. And I and the other people went to the SGF and told him that thank you, and I want to tell you that Mr. President, I've requested this and we've agreed based on this XYZ. And we submitted the letter, and you can see how each and every one of us was in the stitch, and we embraced him. And that's it.
That's interesting. Let me take you back a bit. And as the youngest person among the aspirants for the position of national chairmanship, both in terms of age and perhaps profile, how was the experience for you personally participating in the process?
Yes, it's a very, very interesting one, and it's a very, very encouraging one, because at this critical time when we started the whole project, people think that we're joking as young people. Even the stakeholders, even the big shots in the system, thinks that this one just came to run a show. But if you look at how we're able to, the process that takes us to even have a nomination form, because immediately the nomination form was out at the rate of 20 million. A lot of people were sending us messages that, can you go this, can you do this, can you do that? I said, it's only God that can make us, we are the last people to bought our form at the Friday when other people were submitting. I bought my form on Friday, and other people were submitting. It's now changed the whole project and changed the dynamics of the whole thing, that real young guys are ready to challenge us. And the beauty of the whole thing is that they didn't neglect us. They didn't look down on us. They have to call on us. In fact, when we went to the Mr. President, you are the youngest aspirant, it shows that, no, these guys are really ready to be on the same table with us. And we discussed. And even when the governors, there are some of my governors that I went to them. When I send them a text that I want to see them, I want to discuss with them, my name is Mohammed Etu, the 37 years old, want to have a chat with you. One of the governors said, wow, Mohammed Etu, national chairman at 36, but I'm not God. It shows that I can't do it. But when we are discussing at the table, the same governor that's trying to say, oh, Mohammed, wow. Okay. You couldn't believe it, because he thought that I was joking. But it's now give us opportunity as young people to participate more. Because when you participate, that's what gives you experience of what to do at the next stage. Now, these people that you see are on the same table with us. When you have large number of young people that participate, some of them will run away. Definitely, because they won't allow them to be on the same and be discussing front and back.
So you would say your participation has expanded the space for the young people?
Of course, yes, because now people now know, wow, we can also enter through this space like this, because people thought that it's exclusively for the older generation. Yes, but Even the new chairman, the current chairman, when he saw me, he said, my brother, my son, my, you know, he was so encouraged to see people like me in the race. And they said, we are not going to neglect you because we are going to encourage you. Because if we didn't encourage you, we don't have, and that's what we call leadership build-up. They also have to build us. And if you didn't participate, that is when they will not call you to build. But now we are going to be on the same, we're going to be discussing the national issues, we're going to be discussing the national party at this critical time. But it makes it beauty for the APC to allow people like us to participate, because
Absolutely.
if we couldn't be part of the race, you'll be thinking that we disenfranchise us. But now the next national convention or the next presidential primaries, you see in the next few months, you see young people be in the ballot, and you see how we spring surprises, because this one will understand how the dynamics work.
All right, now the president has actually asked for, your monies to be refunded. Have you received your refund yet?
You know, this just how can you just bring money on the table on Saturday? If the party can be able to bring out cash like that, you have to question our integrity.
Absolutely.
The president just made the statement on Friday, and we went to convention on Saturday, and yesterday is Sunday, today is Monday. There's a process to refund your money, because they have to understand which are the aspirants, the XYZ, let's know how their strength is. They have to even ask for your details, because the party cannot just come and say, come and collect your cash on the table at the party office. They know what to do best. The party or no one understands how to refund the whole thing. Even though some of us said, no, we haven't, but no, people like us, we still need our resources to move on.
So, that's interesting. Mustafa, you are a vocal party young leader, and one issue is before the APC, as the new leadership resumes today, is the issue of healing. A lot of people are aggrieved because maybe they feel disenfranchised, or especially with crisis at the state chapters. What is the way forward, in terms of certain agenda for the new leadership?
To be honest, it's about reconciliation right now. We need to bring everyone together. There are no winners or losers. We are all teammates. There's only one seat per position, so you can't have two people. We all know the rules of the game. Those who didn't make it to the position, like my brother here, who I am so proud of. I am so proud of him, because he gave it his best. He showed that we are not here to joke. I saw him at the convention ground. I gave him a big hug, So this is what we've been all about. We've been about encouraging young people to participate. I think because we have less baggage, it's easier for us to hug each other, to come together. Though, yes, there are elements that, try to, even as young people, we work against each other sometimes, but I think we need to start coming together. So in the state chapters, and it's important, I want to mention something about that. The way the convention went, statutory delegates were used rather than, the regular delegates from the state conventions, state congresses, meaning that we avoid any litigation afterwards, because some states may still be in court or some issues like that. So now that they know that those cases can never affect the convention, it's time for them to know that, there's no need to fight, no need to have issues. Let's all come together. We have a general election in front of us. And I think that the quality of people that have been elected into office are very good people. You can't say 100% of the whole team is the same. You don't have 11 Cristiano Ronaldos or Lionel Messi on a team. It's not possible, So, but I think there's an array of young, older, middle-aged people that can complement each other, and I'm very excited. I believe that this is a new future. This is a new dawn. Nigerians will begin to feel the impact, because what people don't understand is that the bedrock of democracy is the political party. If the political party has a cancer, the whole system has a cancer. If the political party is functioning well, the whole system will function well. So you will see from this day on, anybody that buys a form can never ever be rigged out again. They can't rig you out again at primaries level. It's a thing of the past. They must talk to you. They must have participated. I bought my form, 22.5 million in the governorship election in 2019. And, you know, if things like this were in place, you know, I think it's a better, you know, world for everybody, party level. So now there's a whole point of convergence that people can come together. Okay, if I want to participate, first I have to show seriousness. If I show seriousness, I buy form. As a young person, just like he did. Now, Mr. President has the highest authority in the country. Mr. President called him to the table and discussed with him. There was when Mr. President did that, he asked the governors as well to produce a list of people per zone. So each state got maybe 1 or 2 slots depending, or some 3. You know, the youth, we got 4 plus our chairman, because we ended up supporting Mr. Chairman, because we as young people, it wasn't a case of, you know, we want everything, you know. It's a case of we want to blend between the old and the young. But we also needed to show them that we're ready for the battle, you know. So if it's about running for chairman, he's ready. He represented us. But he also showed the ability to negotiate, listen to authority, to work together as a team. He displayed a lot of character, which, you know, young people have not projected this image in the best light. Everything you see as a young person, the first thing they'll say is NSAS, it went bad. But this scenario is completely different. When the unity list came out, I want to say I am so proud of my wife, Princess Zara. When the unity list came out, you know, she didn't make the unity list, but we went around, we lobbied, especially His Excellency Governor Yaya Bello. We went around and it worked out well. So because of this, it was, I think, an opportunity for everyone to be able to show what they have. And I think this is great for us moving forward.
Okay, now, Mr. Etu, now, a lot of people actually want to know, what would you have done differently, and what would have made you the perfect, you know, national chairman if you had won?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, we run our campaigns on a slogan called APC Reset Agenda. And the Reset Agenda first is the party supremacy that we also key into now. And the second one is the internal democracy of the party. We want to see how our internal democracy is strong and viable, so that it will allow people to participate and knows that their wills have been shown. And the third one is what we call reward system. Our reward system in the party in the last few years, it was very, very poor, where we reward newcomers than even the people that have built up the party. But I think with this new national chairman, who is experienced enough to be able to carry each and everybody along and be able to have a data of who actually works for the party, in the next government, inshallah, that we're going to make by 2023, because it's going to be a walkover for us in the APC. We're going to restructure the party and the government in a way that the way you participate, the way your reward, based on your quality reward, based on your capacity to deliver. We can't just bring someone. Everybody has his own category of reward system in politics. There are some people that actually they are doing a job. There are some people that actually they are technocrats who can be able to deliver and put Nigeria into a smile. You know, those are the things that I believe we have on our agenda, and those are the things that we want to bring on differently, based on our past experience in the party, where we've been neglected. A lot of people have not been carried along. But if actually we were able to make it, but with this one, and that's the new chairman, I said, my young person, come and bring that experience that you have. Let's come and see how we design a roadmap for the party. And we believe we're going to work together and make sure that the party come out stronger in 20 and beyond 20. Because I told Mr. President, I said, let's be frankly speaking to ourselves. I want this party to go beyond all of us. We're going to leave this country and we're going to leave this generation. But the history will beckon on us that a progressive have come to stay. And those are the people on the history that built this party. Let's allow democracy to work stronger so that the country will benefit from it. Because if we allow this kind of the process to go, that's how the country will. And because even our interest to join politics is because of a history that we had about democracy, people that have done NPN and MPLDs. You know, I joined politics at the age of 18. When immediately I graduated from secondary school, I became a youth leader at the age of 18 of my local government because of I have so much passionate reading government as a subject there. And I've really learned our democracy, constitutions, and so many things. And the build up to how we became stronger at that time. And that's what gave me.
But looking forward, especially we are now heading into primaries, which promises to be quite interesting because of the interest at stake. Are you not afraid that the party, or how is the party going to close ranks and maybe everybody come together to work and ensure that we have not witnessed what some analysts predict of maybe people defecting to other parties, especially the opposition PDP?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. I think those are the kind of another doom that we're going to dispel in the next few weeks. Because first and foremost, if you look at the build-up to the convention, the kind of predictions that analysts were making, and we put them to shame. Now, we're going to start another process, which is very, very tedious. Let's be frankly speaking to ourselves, because party primaries and bringing out candidates from virtual positions to be our candidates. And that's why the new chairman, I read this morning that he's going to resume office immediately this morning to see how we kickstart the programs of make sure the party is at the right direction. And that's why we can't leave him into the project alone. All of us agreed to see how we can support him, because at this critical time, it's not about the new chairman, it's about our party first. And see how this party go beyond even all of us. And that's what I told even Mr. President. Now, when he's resuming the office, our experience is going to come to bear, and we're going to set up serious reconciliation, and even how to do these primaries across from state assembly, national assembly, even to the gubernatorial primaries and even presidential primaries, which is going to be very, very tedious, let me frankly speaking to ourselves, because a lot of interest will come to play. But with engagements, with a lot of talks and so many things, I believe we are going to come out victorious in that stage. We're now facing general Nigerians, what tells them and sells our programs, what actually we were able to achieve in the last 7 years. And our shortcomings too, I know they're going to have a backlash, but we're going to see how we can be able to tell them the difference between our successes and our failures.
All right, now, for now, let's take a pause on this discussion, and we'll be back right after this report and break. Do stick around.
Adesanya Ayetunde scored 791. This is also zonal election. It involves only 6 states. Iyabo Orokoso scored 21, and we have 9 invalid. So Adesanya Ayetunde scored the highest vote and is declared winner.
That was Jigawa State Governor and Chairman Electoral Committee of the All Progressives Congress APC National Convention announcing the result of some of the contests at the just concluded National Convention of the party. He earlier told the gathering of delegates and other party faithful that in line with President Buhari's preference for consensus as a strategy to guarantee a rancor-free exercise, a number of aspirants have voluntarily withdrawn from the contest, including that of the national chairman of the party, national secretary, amongst others.
The situation here is overwhelming in terms of the crowd. Security agencies were initially here. They barricaded this access, and of course, but because of the overwhelming nature of the crowd, they've broken the barricade and then overwhelmed the security agencies, who had to leave, and they occupy here. As you can see, I'm sandwiched by some of these supporters, mostly from the southern Borno, who are here to canvass for the support for their candidates or aspirants who are here. It appears the security agencies are limited in terms of number. They've been overwhelmed at some point. They've been trying to create a barricade so that the supporters will not go into the venue without being authorized to do so. But it appears they cannot keep the enforcement of the restriction, and they had to leave.
Speaking earlier at the convention, President Muhammadu Buhari, while acknowledging the successes recorded by the Memalabuni-led caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee, described as monumental increase of over 30 million registered members of the party within 18 months from the 11 million it initially has, which he says must be effectively harnessed to sustain the party's winning streak.
We should learn how to resolve our differences without jeopardizing our personal relationships and the fate of the party. I want to thank the Progressive Governors Forum for heeding to my advice and suggestions in settling the leadership dispute. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me seize this opportunity to remind you of the importance of voter registration and education among our members. This is very necessary for us to justify our large numerical strength during elections.
Outgoing youth leader of the party, Ismail Ahmed, raised concerns over the ability for the party to continue to enjoy the massive support it used to get as President Muhammadu Buhari exits the stage by 2023, saying the party will now live to its true character and meaning. This concern was however allayed by the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan.
Now it is time again. The person who is responsible for bringing 10 million votes will no longer be on the ballot in 2023. This party will be judged by its own character.
You may not be on the ballot in 2023, and let me be explicit. You will not be on the ballot in 2023, but Mr. President, you will remain the leading light, the moral compass of APC even after your tenure.
The APC National Convention, which attracts an unprecedented crowd of supporters and party loyalists, will go well in history, is one which has defied the naysayers who were initially skeptical about its holding. Its ability to utilize consensus as an effective tool to close ranks among members. Full of emotions, bickerings which almost set the party on the path of implosion. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You are still watching Daybreak on Trust TV from our studio in Abuja, and we've been discussing the outcome of the APC National Convention, which held at the weekend. With us in the studio, Mohammed Esu, who was aspired for the chairmanship of the party and a leader of the party and the chairman of the Progressive Youth Movement, Mustafa Audu. Thank you, gentlemen, for staying with us. Mustafa, I will come to you. Now that the Congress, as you move into the elections, one issue that is very pertinent, at the outcome, fallout of the convention, there was this story everywhere that the men proposed for various positions by President Muhammadu Buhari were at the final outcome excluded from the NWC. Don't you think that would affect, unity in the party, especially as maybe we can see like a governors versus presidency sort of dichotomy?
No, I honestly don't think it's anything like that. You see, this is what I said the beauty of democracy is all about. Yes, Mr. President had a few preferred candidates, but it didn't matter because democracy was allowed to play. The chairmanship is the highest position, highest ranking position, and I think that was surrendered to him. Other positions as well, were also allowed for Mr. President to select, Likewise, the governors also did theirs. Likewise, young people like himself were also allowed to enter the race. But at the end of the day, it's not everyone that prevailed. Not all the governors got their wish. Mr. President got his wish for the chairman, but didn't get his wish for some of the other positions. Us as young people, we had 21 people in the race, and 4 won. It means that the rest of the people, had to step. We had 17 people step down for various positions, So that's democracy. You know, one of our people, which is the woman leader, Dr. Betta, one other lady refused to step down for her. Never, even when they said on the stage that she had stepped down, she came out and said, no, I have not stepped down. I've gone against that. Yes, I may have just said it, but I haven't written it, so I'm not going to agree. They pleaded with her, the governor pleaded with her, the ministers pleaded with her, her friends pleaded with her. She said never, her supporters said never. Let's go to the polls. They went to the polls. So I think we're in a very beautiful place where not everyone can win. You know, you don't have, back in the day, you know, it seems our memory is quite short, but back in the day it was never like this. A president would sit down, write everybody, and the issue is done. You know, the issue is done. So we've gone past that. You know, it's the APC government that passed this new electoral act. It's far better than any other act that was in place. So yes, we are not perfect. Yes, you know, there have been issues, but I honestly believe that in the next few months, we will see as Nigerians that a new dawn has begun. What the main problem has been is a lack of inclusion. So you have even your best talents sitting on the sidelines. How then can you progress? If you have great players and you don't make use of them, it's not going to work. But this scenario allows for every single player, good, bad, or ugly, to be in the playing sphere. For Nigeria to progress, we need all 200 million plus Nigerians. We don't need one less. We don't need one short. The issue of insecurity, the issue of economic, you know, issues, problems with people, all stems out of a lack of inclusion of competent, capable people. You know, but this has now allowed for that. Like I said, this may not be the best set of people, but you have a fantastic set of people blended with, you know, other people that are still good. I see hope. I see a bright future. For example, what is going to happen in the next few months in terms of, you know, reaching out, you know, especially the women, especially, you know, young people involvement. I think there's going to be a real change. The winds of change are here, and we're going to finally see it.
All right, Mr. Etu. Now, some have actually said that Mr. Adamu, you know, was appointed in September 2021 as chairman of a 9-member National Reconciliation Committee of the APC, and not much was actually achieved in that committee. Do you think he will deliver?
I think, you know, at that time, he was alone in that. But now he has a lot of people together with him, because all the aspirants are going to rally around him to make sure that he succeeds now. And if you look at what's happening now, he's now the new national chairman. He's now going to roll out his own plans to make sure that the reconciliations that he has started, he will be able to achieve great success on it, because this is a critical time for him to do that. And this is a critical time for the party to achieve that. And he needs a lot of people on the table. You know, that at that level, he was just appointed as the chairman Reconciliation Committee. He must have rules of engagement with other aggrieved people. But now he's in the helms of affairs. He knows what to do. He has started the background, and I believe he will roll out the plans to make sure that the reconciliation is smooth, and we shall go for election with one family.
Sir Mustafa, there is the issue of PDP yesterday actually brought up one issue when it released a statement reacting to the outcome of your convention, in which it says it actually flays the choice of Adamu, saying that he's a man with a lot of baggage. He has a corruption case, which actually in 2010 he was charged to court on 149 count case of corruption by the EFCC. Don't you think that, especially with Buhari's mantra of fighting corruption, this is really a contradiction?
We know the PDP very well. They are up to their dirty tricks again. It was a PDP government. They knew what they were doing. They've always known what they are doing. We are ultimately in this mess because of them, because of 16 years of, you know, maladministration, because of 16 years of a lack of, you know, direction, just, you know, pure issues. But I have to say, things are going to be different. We have a competent, capable chairman that will make a difference, you know, that will unite the party. He has capacity. I like to refer to the previous question of not much being done in the reconciliatory process. No, that's not correct. He actually went around all the 36 states and he has a dossier right now which was submitted to the CCPC. So if you ask who can categorically tell you the issue in each state, it will be him. Where the reports?
Okay, just to buttress what he said, we also have the former Senate President Bukola Saraki, you know, saying that Adamu is deceptive and a desperate liar, not whom he claims to be in polity.
Well, I'll not say anything bad about him, but he's in the PDP, so I know that that's a statement given to him, you know, so to say. I do believe that, you know, he's on the losing team. So, of course, when you're on the losing team, you have a lot of things to say, but we don't believe that's the case. Competence will pull through. Like I said, the Progressive Youth Movement is the largest youth movement in the APC. We have over 10 million registered members, and right now the leader of the Progressive Youth Movement is an official of the APC. It means 10 million young people are automatically represented. You are going to see what is going to happen with the women of the North Central in the next few months. Capacity has come in to stay. So I believe that you're going to see, PDP is a desperate party, you know. You can see their desperation left, right, and center. They're sinking ship. They have nothing to offer. Right. We are going to display, trust me, take my word for it. I've been on this studio several times. Yes, you've seen the fighting spirit. You've seen that where we felt our party wasn't on the right path, we challenged the party. It is solely because of the efforts of young people that this convention came about. And young people have now been included. We are ready to work together hand in hand with the party. We know the problem, a lack of inclusion, you know. People like yourselves, you find it difficult, challenging. Look at how much effort is put here, but with no support, you know, everything you have to do, everything you've accomplished, you've done it on your own. You're your own local government, you're your own, you know, country,
but, you know,
but
Mustafa,
it's about to change.
You know, Mustafa, opposition members would say that what you are saying is also happening still within your government. But that's a discussion for another day. Yes. We are going to put a stop to this conversation for now, and we hope to have you another time. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for staying with us.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, so that was Mohammed Etu, an aspirant in the just concluded convention, and also Mustafa Audu, leader of PYM. We'll take a quick breather and be back in a bit. All right, welcome back. Now quickly to our second discussion. Abba Kabir Yusuf, popularly known as Abba Gida Gida, who contested the 2019 governorship election, you know, under the People's Democratic Party, has defected to the New Nigeria's, you know, People's Party. Now, he defected alongside Aminu Abdusalam Gwarzo, his running mate in the election, and many other members of the Kwankwasiya movement. And this is believed to be part of the agenda towards the planned defection of the movement's leader, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Now, our correspondent Idris Ibrahim joins us from Kano for more. Good morning, Idris, and thanks for joining us on the show today.
Good morning, Dashan.
PDP in Kano have left the party. What more can you tell us about this?
Yeah, exactly, Dashan. As you said, the PDP gubernatorial candidates during the 2019 elections here in Kano, Abba Kabir Yusuf and his running mates, alongside several other supporters of the People's Democratic Party, yesterday left the PDP to New Nigerian People's Party. Although there was no any official ceremony as regards to that, but there is Abba Kabir Yusuf in Konkosia House, Ward House in Isul area of Kano Metropolis, told supporters that he has decided, alongside his deputy and several other supporters, to get out of the People's Democratic Party to join the new Nigerian People's Party. Now, he told the people that he believes that both the PDP and the APC cannot take Nigeria or even Kano State to the promised land. Therefore, there is the need for politicians in Kano to rethink their steps and see how they can be able to strategize so as to win elections in the coming 2023 general elections. So as it is now, the Abba Kabir Yusuf and his running mate and several other supporters of the PDP are no longer with the People's Democratic Party here in Kano. They have officially announced their intention to leave the party.
The political configuration in Kano now heading into the election in a few months, and to what extent will this new party stand a chance?
Well, actually, Abdulaziz, looking at the popularity of Rabiu Kwankwaso, if at all he is to also leave the PDP, and then the Abba Kabir Yusuf himself, who has been a little bit popular during the 2019 elections. So I think if all these people will come together, Rabiu Kwankwaso and all of his supporters will gather in that particular new Nigeria People's Party, I think it will be very much popular in Kano, because Kwankwaso is actually very popular, like you all know, and everybody knows about that. So it's if he joins hands with this party and also with the other people that are coming on board, it's actually going to be a very popular party, like the opposition People's Democratic Party. And in no doubt, people are believing that this party can actually replace the popularity of PDP here in Kano.
All right, Idris, but are we aware of any particular reason as to why Kwankwaso and his supporters would want to leave the party, that's the PDP?
Well, actually, regarding the reason why Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso wants to leave PDP to New Nigerian People's Party, there are several reasons to that. I spoke with the PDP chairman here in Kano, and the first thing I asked him, like you asked me, is why did he think Rabiu Kwankwaso wants to leave the party? And he told me that there are issues of leadership, both in Kano and at the national level, of which Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso felt that justice hasn't been done to him, especially regarding the leadership of the Northwest Zone region of the PDP. Kwankwaso felt that justice has not been done to him, and he is actually losing control of the party at state and at the national level. Therefore, the best thing for him to do, as popular as he is in the party, is to get out, is to look for a solution to his political journey. I think basically these are some of the reasons why Rabiu Kwankwaso wants to leave the party.
So, Idris, thank you very much. Now, Kano is a vote bank. That is a very popular state that anybody aspiring for any position at the national level wants to win. How does this movement to a rather new party by the Kwankwaso and his people will affect the chances of both APC and PDP in the presidential election coming in February next year?
Well, Abdulaziz, like you know, like I always say, when people, like when I talk to PDP chairman, the one thing he actually told me is that when people like Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso leaves a party, then there is a very possible chance that that party is going to face a serious problem. And now, looking at what is happening in both the APC and the PDP, I can tell you that with the number of supporters that Rabiu Kwankwaso has, who are very much willing to go wherever he goes. So the chances here are 50-50, because in Kano, I can tell you that once Kwankwaso get out of PDP, nobody will be talking about it. And if actually people will talk about it, it will take a very long time before people will finally get to it, because many people will follow Kwankwaso where he goes. Now, in terms of chances between the New Nigerian People's Party and the APC, if people like Konkoso at both the state and national level will join the new Nigeria's People Party, and definitely, you know, the chances will be 50-50.
Thank you so much, Idris, for that analysis on Abba Gida Gida's defection. Thank you so much. We've come to the end of Daybreak on Trust TV. Thank you so much for staying tuned. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same station. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman.
Thank you for staying with us. I am Abdulaziz Abdulaziz.